You're a little different, I think, than a lot of the other Arabic calligraphers I've seen, who maybe, the movement, if I can call it that, the harakat of the text itself becomes its own piece of art. Whereas, you might form words that could be interpreted as an elephant, as the Beatles, as John Travolta, right? Like as a number of things. In your case, like, are there a number of artists who take that approach? And I've seen other like forms of animals and things, but generally living forms aren't celebrated, or I mean historically, right? Like in that part of the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I've asked a couple, especially at some of these calligraphy conventions. I mean, you meet a lot of very conservative, sheikhs, or and so I've asked a few of them, is this, am I doing something offensive, or is this going across the line? And they talk about a lot of these regulations they have on iconoclasm is, they don't want to end up with, a pasty white Jesus, or, because anyone kind of draws the, if you're going to draw an image of Jesus, you're going to draw him like a person, and so, I mean, for them, it was like, I did one Quranic surah with this Surah Al-Fil, the elephant, and it's in the shape of an elephant. And so I was asking him about this piece. I was like, this is an animal. Is it offensive? Or is this okay? Or, should have I done a geometric shape? And he would say, well, it's not, you're not trying to say this is a particular kind of elephant. Or you're not saying, he's like, from this image, you can't see if it's an Asian elephant or an African elephant. You've just taken the meaning, the Quran says the elephant, and it doesn't, and obviously no one thinks that there was some calligraphy elephant walking around, so for them it's the image, as long as it's abstracted to the point of not beyond the, so you're not creating a new meaning, you're not adding a meaning that wasn't there in the original Quran, for instance. Whereas I was recently asked to make this portrait of Sheikh Ahmad Ubamba, who was a sheikh of the Mooride Brotherhood in West Africa, but his photo was actually taken, and there's one photo that exists of this sheikh, and I was asked by this Muslim artist group to produce this image for them, and again, I think it's a similar issue of, it's an actual photograph of this man, and it's done with his poetry, so it's not, I'm not imagining I'm not imagining him as some Caucasian guy or some, I'm trying to keep that image exactly as that photograph was, or as close to that photograph as I can. So I think a lot of this iconoclasm just comes from trying to avoid, creating sects, other, like in Christianity, how we draw the different saints. Actually, we have the Orthodox, which draw their icons in a certain way, and the Catholics will kind of draw it any way they want, and then, which over time, part of that was political differences, which became religious, but I think also these cultural differences do over time become, a religious difference.
Yeah, right. I think levels is the issue. And one thing that I've loved about calligraphy and the, Arabic calligraphy's response to iconoclasm is that, in a way it's like topography, right? Or, when you turn the cup upside down and you read, something.
Yeah.
Look, it's coffee grounds upside down. Yeah. That's what it is. Like, that's it. When you see a cloud in the sky, it's like it's moisture in the atmosphere, full stop, right? Okay, but it is a dragon. Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. It is a dragon. It is an elephant. Yeah, I see what you mean. But it's just a cloud, right? Like in the end, it's a cloud. In the end, calligraphy is text. It's artistic usage of text, and it's your fault if you see an elephant in that, like that's not an elephant. Elephants don't have those, spaces in between where the trunk, might meet the forehead and things like that. And it just as what would you call it? A loophole, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. These are just words. Yeah.
Yeah. Pun intended with the loophole. But, your stuff is, I would say it's clearly you're inspired by something. And I wonder, what motivate, like some things are obvious, right? You've done shapes of countries. I've seen Jordan, Syria, et cetera. And those are really cool. So the Tennessee flag, right? That's something we probably might not see, with Arabic calligraphy. You had that based on a song. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just the Tennessee state poem, actually. So it's "Oh Tennessee, My Tennessee." It's which, and I never really, it wasn't a poem I was familiar with, but I was trying to find, so I did this flag series, with the American flag with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then the Lebanese flag with their national anthem, and so, yeah, I was trying to find something that wasn't going to get political. If I pick Dolly Parton, then the Johnny Cash people are going to get upset. And if I, it's like, but okay, this is our official state poem, so we'll just put that. Yeah. Because I just want it to be kind of just generic Tennessee.